Hello, hello. Welcome back to Melon Live. Back again for another episode. I'm excited today. Got a few things to teach you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. I'm here to help. If you haven't checked out Melon, we have a free version. Great way to get started. The pro version gives you so many features, multi-streaming, local recording, 1080p, be able to broadcast your message to as many people as you can, and make it super simple and easy. Live streaming doesn't have to be hard. It can be super simple process. And that's why I really love Melon. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy it if you haven't tried it yet. And make sure that you join the Facebook community. It's a bunch of people just like yourselves into content creation, some experts, some beginners in the middle, and they're all working together, all giving feedback. And also, if you have questions on how to use Melon, you won't need to talk to somebody. We're in there also. I'm in there every day answering questions, responding to people. So if you need help, we're here for you. So last week we talked about how background music can transform your stream, add energy and excitement. And we also talked about the new background audio update, being able to shuffle, the playlisting now, being able to skip, the different effects and features being updated. So for today, we're going to talk about how to overcome nerves, how to speak more confident on stream, which is something that I had issues with, right? Especially when I first got to Melon, I was like nervous about what to talk about. I was still learning the product. So streaming and talking about it for 30 minutes, 45 minutes seemed like such a huge task for me, right? But I'm going to talk about some things that I've learned and researched and different stuff just through my journey and that I've learned that will help you kind of not have that nervousness, be able to go in the stream and be confident and say what you want to say. So if you ever feel like you're nervous, you ever feel like you lack the confidence, you don't know where to start on your stream, this is for you. This is where you want to be at, because we're going to go over that, right? So I broke up everything into pre-streaming tips, during the stream, and then after the stream, right? So these are all things for your confidence, but in different phases. And again, if you're in the chat, let me know if you have questions, any feedback. Love to hear from you. So for me, when I first started streaming, the biggest thing, especially if it's anything educational, is me teaching anything, is having an outline. It's just like driving. I get nervous when I'm driving and I have no idea where I'm going. If I'm just like making it up as I go, I get so nervous. But if I have some sort of outline and some kind of flow and I generally know where I'm going to go, I do much better. So whatever you're going to do, take a little time, create an outline. Some people like paragraphs, and they write out everything and they script out everything. For me, I found that I don't work well that way. For me, bullet points work really well for me when I do my outlines, because if I'm reading the paragraphs, to me, it comes off kind of, you could tell that I'm reading it, right? But bullet points, you'll see sometimes I'll glance over here. I'm just looking at my bullet point and then I know where I'm going. So just like when you're driving, I don't know if you guys have an Apple Watch, but if you have the maps on, it'll just kind of nudge you. It's kind of the same thing. It's just a little nudge to remind you where you're going. Okay, cool. It's the turn right here. And one of my friends recently called me. This was maybe yesterday, day before yesterday, and he was recording content and he was asking for tips because he said he felt like he was reading and it didn't feel engaged. And I was told him it's because he's scripting out every piece of it. And to me, with live streaming, people want to see your energy. People want to get your experience, like who you are as a person. And I feel like when you're reading off a paper, it's harder to get that. Some people can do that very well, but for me, I like to kind of know the general and then kind of fill in the gaps between there. So for me, that's helped a lot. Bullet points. If it's something more technical, I'll put little notes and different stuff on there, but short bullet points that are detailed. Sorry, my Discord went off. To me, those really help me. Just kind of give a direction. And I do this every show. I break it up. I write out what my intro is. I talk about each little segment. I think of it like a TV show. So it's like the intro. I explain why this is important, and then I break down the lessons, and then we recap at the end. So me knowing that formula, it gives me room to kind of throw audibles and create different variations. And if questions come up, it gives me a format that I can kind of stick to and I don't get as lost, which makes me more confident on camera. And you want to, you want to watch your body language. You want to be aware of how you're coming across on camera. It sounds like silly, but like making sure you like your outfit and your style and all that stuff plays a part into your whole aesthetic and being confident on camera. For me, if I know I got outfit I like on, I know I'm feeling comfortable, I know my surroundings, I feel much more comfortable streaming. So you want to try to make things as comfortable as possible for yourself, and that you feel confident. Whatever makes you feel good, that's how you want to portray yourself, because streaming to me is about personality. It's about showing yourself. So know what your goals are, know what you're trying to get across in that stream. If you're trying to be educational, know that that's your goal. If you're trying to be funny, entertain, have that in mind and have a roadmap kind of to get there. So that way people could follow along and you're not just like scrambling. And then you could, to me, it makes you more confident. You feel yourself a little bit better, and everything runs smooth. A big part of being confident on camera is making sure all the technical stuff is set up correctly, making sure your mics is working correctly, your camera looks good, the lighting looks good. And I do all this beforehand. I always check about 30 minutes before I start streaming. I'll turn on everything, try to check everything, make sure everything is just situated. And for me, having a designated streaming spot makes a world of difference. I used to stream and I would have a setup that I would have to take down every time and then rebuild back up. And it was such a pain. My camera angles, I'll spend so much time trying to get the angle exactly right. But now I have a permanent setup. So every day, everything is just here. Camera doesn't move. The mic doesn't move. Everything's set up. All I got to do is plug in 2 wires and boom, it's there. To me, that adds to my confidence because I know there's like, okay, once I figure out the look, I know it's going to be there. Rick Dove Jr., how you doing today? He says, hello, I was introduced to Melon a couple months ago. Really enjoying Melon and all that I could do. I have one issue with desyncing. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put in the chat, I'm going to put in email. Let us know. Support@melonapp.com. After the stream, I'll definitely get somebody to check it out. All you have to do is just send your account info, so that way we could actually like help you and look into your account to see what's going on. I'm wondering, is it an internet thing or I'm not sure, but I'll have a dev look at it. So if you could email and the same stuff that you're talking about, and I'll have someone check it out right after the stream. I'll make sure I message them and they'll be looking for your message. And I appreciate you coming through. And let me know if you have any questions about the topic today. But I definitely will get you situated and help out with the desyncing. So before the streams, another thing I do is I play a lot of music. It's kind of like if you're about to be in sports and you're about to play a game, people have the soundtrack, the hype music. So I play music beforehand. But just like we talked about last week, make sure it's not copyrighted music while you're on stream, because we don't want any of those issues. You don't want your stream to be muted or taken down because of some kind of copyright. So if you're going to on stream, if you're playing music, use copyright free, but beforehand, turn it up, get excited, jump around. That's what I like to do, just to kind of get the energy flowing, get excited about everything. The intro for the stream really helps me a lot. That little 30 seconds, to me, it helps me like, okay, it's game time, get calm, collected, gather my thoughts, take a deep breath, and then it starts. Because sometimes I feel like when you just go live by pressing a button, it's such a abrupt like jump, So having that intro kind of gives you a little buffer so you can calm yourself down, get focused, and align to whatever your message is. And again, focus on making quality content. That's always, you want to make sure that you're giving the viewers interesting, interesting stream, and the feedback and the comments will help you with your confidence. It's always great seeing people like engage in the chat and answer back and respond and ask questions. To me, that makes me feel more comfortable because I feel like I'm talking to friends. It's more of a conversation rather than I'm just talking, to a camera. So always try to engage, be more active in the chat. To me, it makes it much easier and feeling more confident. You want to amp up your energy. You want to make sure that your energy is high, but again, you don't want to come off not yourself. So whatever high energy is for yourself that's normal, that's where I would try to be. I try to get to that energy like when I'm around my friends and I'm excited about something. That's the energy that I want to portray. So that's kind of what before the stream, how I get situated and what's helped me so far getting better at streaming. And I have a bad, so I looked this up, right? I have a bad habit of saying right? And I watched all these YouTube videos on how to fix it. Two things. I don't know if you guys have an Oculus. They have a VR public speaking app where it mimics being in front of people and you can speak and it kind of critiques you, which is super kind of creepy. But it definitely does kind of help you. So that helped me. And then also the guy basically was saying, if you're thinking and talking at the same time, a lot of times that's what causes the So after you speak, just close your mouth, think, and then open your mouth. And it was such a small little thing, but it definitely helped me a lot. Let's see. Jeremy says you can help improve your audio and video if you're mixing all your audio and video before it goes up on Melon. So get your audio and video from the same source. Okay. Definitely. So during the stream, and Jeremy, where are you from? Thank you for joining the chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being a part of the conversation. Where are you from? And what kind of content do you make? I'd love to hear from you guys. So during the stream, to me, your brain is kind of working a little bit differently while you're on stream. So many things being thrown at you, so many things on the screens popping up. So it's important to be focused and don't get stressed out about it, right? To me, it's no such thing as a perfect stream. You can never have a perfect stream. You're gonna stumble across something, you're gonna, something's gonna go wrong. But that's part of being live, and people understand that. I feel like people are very forgiving for live rather than more of like recorded content, because they understand that this is in the moment, right? So people aren't as harsh as you think they are. Like I would mess up and I'd be like, oh man, everybody notices, and like no one cares about me messing up on that one word, right? So don't be harsh on yourself. Take time, relax, and just enjoy the process. It's about having fun and showcasing what your message is. It's not about being exactly perfect. So Jeremy says, I'm in Wisconsin, have been streaming with Melon for 1.5 years. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being a part of the community. Let's see. And he says, I use the stream to local events for my 4-H program as well. I was a 4-H member from, man, I've been part of 4-H when I was a kid. I was very young. I started in 4-H. I was a camp counselor through 4-H. So I love 4-H. So I'm glad to see that 4-H definitely played a big part of my life. I grew up in Virginia, and we would go out into the mountains, stay out there for a while, and it was a big part of my childhood. A lot of my great friends I've met through 4-H, so that's great. I really enjoy that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so and if you're nervous, you could practice streaming without. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get on the camera and I'll just read through my outline. So that way I'm kind of familiar, because sometimes when I'm writing the outline, I'll put something in a weird order or I'll misspell something. So I just kind of do a quick run beforehand just to kind of get my bearings. But if you want to practice beforehand, a great way to do it. And remember, it's not about you, it's about the viewers, it's about the content. So again, the pressure, you shouldn't feel pressured to be perfect. The pressure should be, how do I entertain, or how do I educate and make a great stream for everybody? And it's not, just about one person. Sweet, that's awesome. Yeah, 4-H is great. 4-H is definitely great. And if anybody else is in there, I'd love to see, where you're from, what kind of content do you make? Please feel free to join the chat. I love hearing from you guys. And then if you can, try to limit distractions when the stream. Sometimes you can't help it. Like my Slack is going off. Or, sometimes people come through the door. Sometimes you can't help it. But I try to turn the volume down when I can, close the doors, kind of making myself a little isolated. So when it's time to stream, I could be focused and keep my daughter from just running through the door and screaming at me. But, sometimes life happens, and sometimes those makes great moments. So just embrace it, go with the flow, don't overthink it. And look at the camera when you're speaking. I try to do this. I've seen people even put out cutouts around the camera, like it's like a face, so they could like look more at it, because it is, to me, is looking at a little circle is kind of weird at times. But the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you'll get at just looking at the camera, which kind of gives that eye contact feel. And to me, it's more engaging. So after the stream, to kind of keep the nervousness down and to boost confidence, I'll always kind of look back, kind of like in sports where people will go through the footage and they'll look through film. I go back and I'll look like, okay, I should have adjusted the camera better this way. I should have spoke more about this, right? So the next time when I'm going into a stream, I'm like, okay, cool. I could fix this problem. I could tweak this. And the streams just keep getting better and better and better. And you'll start noticing little stuff that you do. Like I was saying, I noticed that I would do the ums a lot because I'm thinking, I'm trying to make sure that I'm being articulate and saying what I need to say, but also I'm live on camera. So I'm trying to juggle all this stuff. But the more I realize that I'm doing it, the easier it is for me to stop doing that. And see, I still do it at time to time. And every time I do it, I'm like, man, I did it again. But it's part of the process. Eventually, I'm going to be perfect with it, and I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. But it's one of those things that a lot of people go through. When I looked up that video, it probably had 1 million something views on it. So it's a very common thing. And critique yourself. Again, don't be too harsh, but go through, see what you could do better. Experiment, try different ideas. And it's, looking back is a good way to see, like, okay, I can embellish this. I can make this more exciting. I can add sound effects. I could do different things here. So that's where I would definitely do. Let's see what Jeremy says. Is there a plan to integrate basic color correction for streamers that have call-ins? That's a good idea. Hold on, let me screenshot that. So what I do in the streams, if you guys give great suggestions, I screenshot them so I can make sure I get the wording exactly right. And the great thing with Melon, right, is they roll out so many updates, right? It's probably an update every week. I normally every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, depending on how big the update is. And a lot of it comes from feedback from you guys. It's you guys writing in the chats and you guys writing in the community. So I put all those up. They look through the tickets like, okay, this is a great idea. Let's see if we can implement this. I think that's a great idea. I'll see. Again, I'm more on the marketing side. So when it comes to, I don't know how difficult that is, but I do think that's a great suggestion. I'll make sure that I'll submit that to the team and see what they could do. And for updates, just make sure you're following us on Facebook community. I always post the updates on social and the community about all the new updates, what's new in Melon, new features, and how to use them. So I try to keep that going on all the social sites. He says, so if you host a few calls, for example, it might be nice for the host to be able to adjust the RGB and try to match up the caller. Oh, I like the way you think. I like the way you think. That's a very good idea. So I just screenshotted those, and I'll make sure into the stream, I will submit those, make the tickets for those, and put those in, because that's very great ideas. So I appreciate it. I really appreciate the feedback. Yeah, so the key is try new things. I don't know if you guys ever watched Magic School Bus, but make mistakes, get messy. That was the whole thing of the show, is like try new things, make mistakes. It's part of the thing. Streaming, it's gonna be errors in there, it's gonna be mess ups, but I think that's why people like it. I've really enjoyed Twitch over TV now, which is crazy. I barely watch scripted TV shows, and I watch Twitch, and I watch YouTube more than anything, and a lot of it is live streaming of people I just find interesting. Because they could be doing the most simple things. I was watching a guy take Spanish lessons on stream, but it was just so interesting because he made it entertaining, and it's his personality that shines through. So because I enjoy the personality, you can be doing whatever and it makes it great. And I feel like it's a tribe for everybody. It's people that out there that's going to enjoy your message no matter who you are and whatever you're doing. It's going to be other like-minded people there. So for you, it's just crossing that bridge of getting to those people and making content and putting yourself out there so people can see that. And if it seems like nobody's interested, just again, it's consistency. Keep putting stuff out there because you will find people that are into it. You would be surprised. And it's so cool in the community because it's so many different versions of live streams that I would have never thought of. That I'm like, oh, that's such a cool idea of people like, we're only going to talk about this specific kind of TV shows, and it's live streams and people be tuned in. People are painting specifically, which is great. I love Bob Ross, so it makes sense, that people will watch that. But it's just so many different variations of content that you can make while streaming that people will be into. So if it hasn't taken off yet, just be consistent, keep with it. Don't get discouraged. So yeah, those are pretty much my tips for pre-streaming, getting your mind right, knowing, ways to prep, using the intro to kind of have a breath to get focused, not beating yourself up and making sure that you have a plan during the stream, keeping calm, knowing that stuff is going to happen and kind of go wrong at certain points. Not every time, but sometimes stuff is just not going to work 100% like you think it is. But that's cool. That's part of what you do. And just knowing that and anticipating that and always being on that kind of mindset to me helps me know that, okay, it's cool. Something fell in the background. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Keep streaming or make it a piece of the content. And then practice, just the more you do it, the more confident. I used to hate talking on camera. I used to hate it. But the more I put myself in those situations, the better I get, and then I've done like public speaking and stuff like that, stuff that I never would have thought that I would ever be doing. Talking about marketing and speaking in front of panels and stuff like that. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I'd have been like, never would have happened. But again, it's a practice thing. It's just getting used to it. It's kind of like putting training wheels on a bike. It's just getting there so you understand the concept. And then once you understand the concept, you can take those training wheels off and go out and do more things, experiment, go out there. And a tool in Melon that will help with all of this is the teleprompter tool. So let me show you. So we have the teleprompter here. Let me switch and put myself right there. So the teleprompter in Melon is great because, again, if you have like outline, you have something that you're trying to do, especially if you're doing like sales videos. For more longer live streams, I use more bullet points. But like, say if I'm doing like a ad or something like that, for me, that's when I really like the teleprompter. I could put that up there, record, and I can adjust the speeds. Only I see the actual text. So that way it helps you understand and speak more confidently. Again, just try not to feel like it's reading, like you're reading from it. If you can, read over it a couple of times so where you're going with it, and then use the teleprompter to kind of just help guide you along. But the teleprompter is super easy to set up. It's over here. If on the right side of your Melon Studio, it's going to be in the text right here. And it'll bring up this menu, and you can adjust your banners, your tickers, and then you can add your teleprompter. And again, it's only visible to you. And once your teleprompter is on screen, here's how you adjust the speed. So you can start, stop, adjust the speed, make it slower, make it faster. Super easy to set up, but a great tool just to keep your ideas flowing. Jeremy says, I have a teleprompter, but this is a pretty dope add-on. Do you have like an actual, like, I've seen some people have the actual, like, they put on like the light stand and it's an actual like teleprompter. Oh, you got the for real setup. You got the newscaster setup. That's pretty cool. And then another, we spoke about it for a second, but the intro, adding the intro is, to me, is super, super easy. But again, it gives me that little break. Like, I know that, okay, in 30 seconds, I'm going to be live. Let me focus. Let me gather my thoughts. Let me, zone in. So if you don't have that intro, to me, it makes it so much easier. And it makes your live streams, to me, more consistent, because each stream has a delay, right? So YouTube, even if you have the stream starting at 1, YouTube will start at a different time than Facebook sometimes, and LinkedIn, because each of these destinations have different delays on them, right? And so when you just start without the intro, to me, sometimes part of it will get cut off sometimes. But once you put that intro in there, it gives you that time to, get everything together. And then most of them, nobody's going to miss that initial intro from your stream. So if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm here to help. If not, I'm going to let you guys enjoy your weekend. I'm actually going to do some streaming this weekend. I'm actually trying to get my gaming set up a little bit better, play some games. I've been playing a lot of Multiverse, been playing a lot of VR golf, because I haven't been on the golf course lately. So I've been playing a lot of VR golf, which is super fun. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but I've been loving it. So I'm going to do some streaming, and I'm going to record some content. With Melon. I use Melon. It's crazy because I use it for live streaming, but I also use it for like content creation, like making courses, or if I'm making TikToks, I'll put it in portrait mode and just record. So a lot of times that's what I do, because it's easy. I already got the cameras and stuff set up. So it's easy just to go in here if I'm talking, and then do a bunch of little TikToks and reels, and knock those out. He says, Jeremy says, I send my master video out to an iPad. It shows up on the teleprompter. Oh, that's cool. And I just do an overlay with my teleprompter app, sort of cheating and a costly setup, but allows you to see the audience. That's pretty cool. Huh. I like that. Well, if you can, try the teleprompter. Let me know how it compares. I would love to hear, the difference. I have a friend who has been wanting an alternative to insert overlays to do sports scores and such. Is there a plan for Melon to offer sportscasting solutions? Another great idea. As far as I know, I don't know about specifically for sportscasting, but I do know that they're always updating and adding new overlays and changing stuff around. And again, all these ideas, all these feature highlights that you guys, feature requests that you guys bring up, I'm screenshot them. I submit those tickets. And so know that your requests are being viewed and heard, and the team, is working on whatever they can to make Melon the best platform that it can be. Man, when I say it's a lot of updates being rolled out, it's a lot. So I definitely have that, and I'll submit that also with the other great ideas you had. Yeah, those are really good. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. You've given me some great insight today, Jeremy. So I appreciate you joining the stream. And then next week, I have some new equipment coming. I got to see when I could talk about it, but I'm excited. I think you guys will be excited about it. It's very new, so I don't know if I could talk about it, yet. But when I get it and they say I could talk about it, I'll do some content on it and make some content around it. But I think it'll be very exciting for you guys to see the new stuff. And then I know some new updates coming out, and probably the next week or two. Just improvements and new features, as always. So I'll make sure I keep the community updated with that. If you guys have any questions, or just like how Jeremy had very great ideas, let us know. Don't be afraid. If you want to see something in Melon, please tell us, because that's how we get better. Is from feedback from guys like you. So if y'all do, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook community, write us. And a lot of times it's going to be me, the person you're talking to, and I'll make sure I get that to the team, and the right people see these ideas so we could try to get them implemented. And if that's it. If there's no more other questions, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your weekend. Hopefully, I was able to help you guys get some confidence in your streams. And next week we'll have some more topics. We'll have some good, fun topics. I'll be back here, Jeremy. If you're available, please come through next weekend, next Friday, excuse me. Love to have you because you have such great suggestions. I appreciate it. So if that's it, thank you guys. Melon Live. Again, check out background audio. We made some great updates with that. If you haven't add Trovo as a destination, it's a growing platform. With Melon, you could just add it instantly. It's super easy as a destination. And again, always say this: if it's a new platform, a social media platform, just like how TikTok was new for people, when you start on the ground, when it's like growing, it's the best, right? It's easier to grow when you're growing with the platform rather than TikTok now where everybody's on it and it's harder to grow. And I feel like that way with Trovo. I've seen Trovo, the support for it has been growing and growing and growing. So adding that to your destination isn't any extra work from you other than just adding it to it, but you're increasing your reach. So all of those, make sure you check those out. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.